So, MSNBC, Morning Joe's two hosts of Morning Joe on MSNBC revealed that they met with Donald Trump. What? Am I reading this correctly? Am I actually reading this correctly? MSNBC, the same network that called that man Hitler, called that man a fascist, called that man everything inside the book, are trying to save their freaking jobs. So they decided we're going to reach out to the Trump team, and they met with Donald Trump. But you know what? Let's see what Fox had to say about this fiasco. Let's get to it. Fair use, fair use.
MSNBC Morning Joe co-hosts and vicious Donald Trump critics revealed this morning that they met with President-elect Trump at Mar-a-Lago on Friday morning. They did this after conceding that voters overwhelmingly had made their choice.
We were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
Didn't see eye to eye? Y'all basically thought the man was the devil himself. Y'all made it seem like he was Lucifer. Like that man was going to just start World War III or something. But hey, let's continue.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful. He was upbeat. He seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we?
You know why? Because you know your job's on the line. If your ratings weren't falling down in the tank, you wouldn't be like, oh man, we gotta go meet Trump. Yeah. I know people on YouTube are getting more views than MSNBC. Let's continue.
So why wouldn't you meet with Donald Trump? I'm thinking really hard. Well, maybe here's why. These are your own words.
The retweeting of neo-Nazi videos, Charlottesville. I could go on and on. What he said about majority black countries. That is tearing more at the fabric of America than attacks on the Twin Towers did. We rebuilt from that. We became stronger because of that. But this seems to me a far graver threat to the idea of America. If Republicans continue this line of thinking, if they continue their support for Donald Trump, they needn't fool themselves. A second Trump administration would destroy the Department of Justice, would destroy the FBI. This is not
destroy. Like he was already president. Like I don't understand it. Like, what do you think this man gonna do? Just go complete haywire in his second term? People need to understand, yo. If Donald Trump does what you say he does and destroys America, he will go down as the worst president in history. You think Donald Trump really wants that on his tombstone when he goes? Let's continue.
Out of reach. I could go back and talk about Nazi Germany, and I do it without any concerns whatsoever. And if people can't start drawing the parallels, well, you're just stupid, or you have your head in the sand, or you're one of them. When you look at a Republican nominee, a potential Republican nominee that's talked about terminating the Constitution, he said, terminate the Constitution, arrest political opponents using the Justice Department, assassinate generals that weren't sufficiently politically loyal to him, saying that he was going to take the FCC and bring it in to the White House, and he would decide what networks were on and what networks were not on.
Lisa, I unfortunately saw that last one in real time. He literally said Donald Trump would assassinate generals and use SEAL Team 6. And now you're going to go meet with him? Sorry, you're both phonies.
Haley, I'm like, I can't get over this story, right? I don't think any of us can. It's like, how does this call go, right? Like, hey, Don, okay, so I'm sorry I called you a Nazi for years and like Hitler, but you want to grab coffee, maybe lunch, like
at your house.
Yeah. Like how does it, and it's like funny because it's so ridiculous and it's so shameless and it's so debasing and so disgusting on their part. But they also created this environment where Donald Trump almost got killed. Yeah. Right. And even back in October, Mika Brzezinski said that the Madison Square Garden was a white nationalist Nazi type rally. And so they're the ones that created that environment. And so it is good to see that MSNBC's ratings are down. And that's why they're doing this. Hopefully they can eat some humble pie, maybe do some self-reflection and realize that they have let.
No, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. What they're going to do is they're going to spin the interview the way they want to spin it. And if I'm Donald Trump, I want the unedited version of that interview out. I don't want you to edit it, chop it up like CNN did Kamala Harris's interview. I want it unedited, unscripted, out in the open.
Led to a lot of the division in this country and an environment that potentially got Donald Trump killed.
Mika Brzezinski went on The View and basically took over the show. It was like the Mika Brzezinski show that day. Well, now Sonny Hostin is very angry. Watch.
Uh-oh. I think that we have to be very clear-eyed when we think about the president-elect and cover the president-elect. And I don't think you need to sit down for 90 minutes at Mar-a-Lago and kiss his ring to be able to speak truth and to be able to cover a story. So maybe they're not journalists in the true sense. Maybe they're saying that they're opinion journalists.
Whoa! Whoa! Sonny throwing the smoke at MSNBC. Oh my goodness, yo. This chick right here, yo. She is like the definition of, her and a couple of others, man. They will not budge, man. Her, Charlemagne, they will not budge for nothing. And I would not be surprised if ABC sends her and Whoopi Goldberg down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring of Donald Trump.
I mean, here she just said maybe Mika's not a journalist. You think?
Well, I mean, make MSNBC great again.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Look, the ratings are no joke. Yeah. And networks can think of it as being cyclical. So this cycle started last Wednesday morning after the election, and they're feeling it now. But I just don't understand where they are going to go forward and not admit that they lied. Because if they really thought he was a fascist, a Nazi, and he was getting at Trump supporters with those comments about MSNBC or MSG, the Madison Square Garden crowd, calling supporters Nazis and so on and so forth. Look, they have to admit they lied before they can go forth. Like, I'll never believe another word that they say. And by the way, that's more MSNBC, those clips we showed, than I've seen in years. I mean, that was a lot of material. I don't, I try not to have that much of it in my system. I think I might be allergic to it.
I'm with her, man. I think the last time I actually watched MSNBC, it was for a video that I did. I think it was Byron Donalds and Al Sharpton. That was the last time I actually sat down and watched the MSNBC video. I can't watch it. Like, it gets to the point where you know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? People talk bad about Fox. People talk bad about CNN, but MSNBC is the worst, man. Let's continue.
That's good for your mental health. So that's probably a wise decision.
I'm sure they're nice people, but they lied.
John, the fact that Trump took this meeting, Brooke Singman at Fox News Digital reached out, got some comments from him, and I found them to be fascinating. So for someone who's a fascist and all of these things, he said, I'm not looking for retribution, grandstanding, or to destroy people who treated me unfairly. He thinks it's vital to have a free, fair, and open media, and he has an obligation to talk to those, even those who mistreated him badly.
I wish I could have seen him opening the front door and say, what, you couldn't find Mao and Stalin? They were busy? Hitler? But,
oh my goodness.
But no, I can't believe he let people in his house. Think about if people are calling you Hitler or Stalin or Mao, and they want to come over and have coffee. Would you actually let them in your house? So I actually think Trump is being quite magnanimous, totally contrary to the image that the left built of him. one thing about the ratings, Harris, I think by showing these clips, you have quadrupled the MSNBC ratings by showing them on Fox News.
Look, if they can talk neutrally and bring the country together, that would be a good thing.
Yeah.
I just don't know. This feels self-serving, but maybe they'll prove differently.
Emily, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't think this is a new leaf. I remember the New York Times apologizing in 2016. There was no new leaf. This isn't a new leaf. This is a ploy to try to get an interview and ratings.
Yeah. I mean, she hit around the head. Definitely hit around the head. I think it's a ploy to get ratings. And the sad thing is that, you know, Trump is being the bigger person. Excuse me. Trump is being the bigger person, but my worry is that what they're going to do is they're going to flip this interview and all these things. And this is like when you know you're desperate for ratings. You MSNBC, your ratings are in the tank. What do we do? What do we do to get people to watch our program? Oh, we go to Mar-a-Lago and get an interview with Donald J. Trump and see what he's talking about and try to, you're trying to bring your base back. That's all you're doing. And Donald Trump is probably thinking to myself, well, I can make this good for me too. I can go ahead and show these networks what they really about. And Sonny hosts, that's what, ABC, please get The View to go down there to Mar-a-Lago, please. And I don't want it to be somebody. I don't want it to be the other women. I wanted it to be Sonny, and I wanted it to be Whoopi Goldberg. I want those two to go down there and interview Donald Trump, because that will be prime time television. But it's your boy Jay here with another video. If you like the content, hit that like button. Also hit the subscribe button. On my road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get the conversation started. What do you think? MSNBC going down to see Donald Trump. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it in good faith? Let me know. Also, got another video on the side for your viewing pleasure. Until next time, folks, I'm out.